Hello students, welcome back. This is class 6th Science, chapter number 11, Light, Shadow and Reflection. In this video lecture, I will be summarizing all the topics we have learned and discussed so far. To cover this chapter under one video, I have divided all the topics into four main parts. Let's start with topic number 1, Light. The first question that strikes our mind is, what is light? You know, light is a form of invisible energy which gives us the sensation of sight. We see things only in presence of light. Now, let us learn about some sources of light. Any object which emits light is called a source of light. However, we will be looking at two different types of sources on the basis of origin. The first one, natural sources, and the second, man-made sources. Let's learn about each of them in detail. Natural sources. Those sources of light which occur in nature are called natural sources of light. Examples: sun, stars, glowworm, we know it as jugnu, and lantern fish. The second type, man-made sources. Those sources which have been made by man are called man-made sources. They are also known as artificial sources of light. Examples: electric bulb, candle, torch, and oil lamp. After learning about the sources of light on the basis of origin as natural and man-made, let us now learn about another category of sources of light which is on the basis of the nature of the source or the body. It is categorized into two categories. Number 1, luminous objects. Number 2, non-luminous objects. These objects are basically the source of light. Starting with luminous body. The objects which emit their own light are called luminous bodies or objects. Examples: sun, stars, candle, and electric bulb. Non-luminous body. Those objects which do not emit their own light are called non-luminous bodies or objects. These become visible only when light falls on them. Few examples: moon, planets, book, and chair. After learning about luminous and non-luminous objects, I come across this interesting question. It states, why is moon a non-luminous body? Let's find out the answer. Moon is a non-luminous body because it only reflects the light from the sun falling on its surface. Thus, it do not emit its own light. And students, we are aware that the objects which do not have their own light are termed as non-luminous. It doesn't matter if they are naturally occurring sources or are made by man. This picture will help us to understand the reason with more clarity. We can see sunlight is falling on the moon, and the moonlight which we experience from Earth is basically the reflected light from the moon. Here, sun is a naturally occurring luminous body and moon is a naturally occurring non-luminous body. Whereas our Earth, a planet, is also a naturally occurring but non-luminous body. We can also see stars here. I hope you can tell that stars are also an example of luminous objects. Let's start with the types of objects. The objects in our surrounding are classified into three categories: transparent, translucent, and opaque. The first category of objects are known as transparent objects. The objects which allow the light to pass through them completely are called transparent objects or transparent materials. The second category of objects are known as translucent objects. The objects which allow the light to pass through them partially are called translucent objects or translucent materials. Here, the word partially means not completely. Finally, the last category of objects are called opaque objects. The objects which do not allow the light to pass through them are called opaque objects or opaque materials. So, these are the objects which completely block the path of light. Let's quickly have a look at the examples of different objects. Clean water, glass, and lenses are the examples of transparent objects. Plastic glass, butter paper, and hazy window panes are the examples of translucent objects. And finally, wall, wood, and tiles are the examples of opaque objects. Students, do you know light travels in straight line, and this phenomenon of light is called rectilinear propagation of light. After learning about how a ray of light moves, let us now try to guess with what speed does it move. Let me tell you. Light travels with the speed of 3 lakh km per second. Isn't it amazing? The second topic is shadow. Starting with what is shadow? Shadow is a dark patch that is formed on a screen when the path of light is blocked by an opaque object. Students, here screen can be a wall or a floor. However, regarding opaque objects, we are already aware from our previous videos that these are the objects which do not allow the light to pass through them. Or we can say these are the objects which block the passage of light completely. Since light cannot pass through it, it means opaque object, the space behind the object appears dark. Now, let's have a look at some of the properties of shadow. These properties will help us in identifying and knowing a bit more about shadow. Property number 1. Shadow is a dark outline of an object. Property number 2. A shadow gives an idea about the shape of an object. Property number 3. Color and size of an object cannot be guessed just by observing at its shadow. Property number 4. The nature and size of the shadow depends on number 1. The size of the source of light and the object, and number 2. The distance between the source of light and object, or the distance between the object and the screen. After learning about some of the basic properties of shadow, let us now understand the conditions which are required for the formation of shadow. That is, when will a shadow appear? For the formation of shadow, we require some of the things. Number 1. Presence of a source of light. Number 2. An opaque object. And number 3. Any screen. From this diagram, we can see the correct alignment which is required for the formation of shadow. Here, at one side, there is a source of light. On the other side, there is screen. The object can be placed anywhere in between the source of light and the screen for the formation of shadow. However, to obtain a dark patch, the object should be an opaque object. In the same sequence, the third topic is eclipse. After learning about shadow, let us now look at one more important topic of this video lecture. It is eclipse. Eclipses are formed due to the formation of shadow of heavenly bodies like moon on earth and vice versa. We are already aware that for the formation of shadow we require three main conditions. One, a source of light, then an object, and finally a screen. The shadow which is formed of heavenly bodies as an object on another heavenly body is termed as eclipse. The term vice versa means the shadow of moon on earth or the shadow of earth on moon. There are different types of eclipses. They are broadly divided into two types, namely solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. Let us understand the solar eclipse through this diagram. Here at one end there is sun, and we all know sun is acting as a source of light in this condition. On the next extreme side we have earth. Here earth is acting as the screen on which the shadow is formed, and moon is acting as the opaque object which is blocking the sun rays partially or completely. Now, any viewer from the earth, if looks at the sun during a solar eclipse, then he would experience just some part of the sun visible because the rest of the part is covered by the moon. Let us now try to understand lunar eclipse through diagram. Here you can see sun at one side. As usual, it is acting as a source of light. The moon on the another extreme side is acting as a screen. Our earth, which is present in between these two heavenly bodies, is acting as an opaque object. Here, when sun rays passes through this straight line, the earth blocks out some of the sun rays, which results in the formation of shadow which falls on the moon. Any viewer on the earth, if looks at the moon, it appears to be dark. The reason is well known. It is just because of the shadow of earth which is falling on the moon. And finally, the last topic is topic number 4, reflection. Let's start with knowing what is reflection. A phenomenon in which light bounces off an object is called reflection of light. When light falls on a surface, all or part of it is bounces back from the surface. The phenomenon of reflecting back or bouncing back is termed as reflection. Now, let us learn few conditions on which reflection of light depends. The reflection of light depends on the nature of surface. It may be a smooth surface, also called regular surface, or a rough surface, also called as irregular surface. Through this diagram, let us try to understand the main principle behind regular reflection. First of all, you all can see the surface is smooth. We can also call it regular surface. For an instance, let it be the surface of a plane mirror. You can see some of the lines which are falling on the surface. They are drawn blue in color. These rays are known as the incident rays. In common language, we can denote them as incoming rays. When incident rays falls on the surface, after striking or after hitting the surface, they are reflected in same direction. The reflected rays are denoted with red color, and you can clearly note that the arrowhead is depicting the direction of the incident as well as reflected rays. As the definition of regular reflection says, the incident rays are reflected in same direction. We can easily deduce that this diagram is representing the phenomenon of regular reflection. Let us now look at the diagrammatic representation of irregular reflection. Once again, first of all, let's have a look at the irregular surface. We can see the top of the surface is not smooth or polished. For instance, let us take or assume the surface to be a wall. The incident rays, which are drawn blue in color, are pointing towards the surface. After striking or hitting the surface, these rays are getting reflected into different directions. Yet they all are pointing away from the surface but are not arranged parallel to each other as the incident rays. As of now, we have some idea about the term image and shadow. Now, let us look at few differences between both of them. Image. Image is formed when a light is reflected from a mirror or a shining surface, whereas shadow is formed when a path of light is obstructed by an opaque object or body. Point number 2. Image give all the details of the object such as size, shape, and color, whereas shadow gives no detail of the object, it only shows the outline of the body. Point number 3. Image shows the exact details of the color as the object. However, shadow is always black in color. Last point. Image shows lateral inversion, whereas shadow does not show lateral inversion. While learning about the differences between image and shadow, we come across a term lateral inversion. Students, lateral inversion is a phenomenon in which left appears to be right and vice versa. Let's try and understand lateral inversion with the help of the diagram. We have learned that image shows lateral inversion. Take an example. A boy is standing in front of a plain mirror. In this diagram, he has raised his right hand. However, in the image, we all can see the left hand is raised. This phenomenon where right appears left or left appears to be right is termed as lateral inversion. You can try this lateral inversion by looking yourself into a mirror and doing all these activities with your body and checking the image which is reflecting on the mirror. How does it behave? I come across this interesting question which I thought you all should know. Why the letter ambulance written differently? You all must have seen ambulance, and the letter ambulance is written very differently from the usual letters that we come across in our daily life. Have you ever wondered why is it so? Let's try to find it out. The word ambulance is written as a mirror image so that the driver in the vehicle going in front of the ambulance could read it correctly from its rear view mirror and he would make way for the ambulance. Students, that's all for this video. I hope the summarized lecture has helped you in understanding and revising all the topics well. Still, if you come across any doubt, do mention it in comment section. I will be happy to revert with solutions. Don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel. As far as your homework is concerned, log in to Edquark account on regular basis to check the assignments. These assignments will be uploaded for you to practice. And finally, on Thursday, that is 14th of May, test on this chapter will be conducted. The question paper will be uploaded on Edquark under homework section. Bye and thank you.